Salva, an example of Cosmopolitanism, the Lost Boys return. The person I virtually interviewed is Salva, the founder and senior advisor for Water for South Sudan. He is the inspiration and vision behind the non-profit organization, which provides access to fresh water and hygiene education in remote villages of his native South Sudan, one of the world's poorest countries. Since 2005, Water for South Sudan has drilled more than 280 wells, serving hundreds of thousands of people. In 1985, Salva, then just 11 years old, was one of the 17,000 lost boys of Sudan who fled the country's southern region during Sudan's two-decade civil war. As a teenager in 1990, Salva led about 1,500 of the lost boys from Ethiopia across hundreds of miles through Sudan to the United Nations-controlled Kakuma refugee camp. He lived in the barbed wire enclosed camp with 92,000 other refugees for nearly 6 years. In 1996, about 3,800 of the lost boys, including Salva, came to the U.S. Welcomed by his new family, he started a brand new but different life. When asked about how he felt after arrival, he said, "Coming to a country that has so many things that I never had when I was a child was very challenging. Doing everything for myself in order to fit in this culture is not easy, but I have to keep walking, keep learning, and keep persisting." When asked about his primary motivation of drilling water wells in South Sudan, he said, "In 1992, I learned that my father was seriously ill in a UN clinic. My father and I had not seen each other for over 16 years. I then decided to return to Sudan so as to catch the possible last chance to reunite with my father. But the bad news was that the doctor told me if your dad kept drinking the dirty water, he might not survive." Salva's trip reconnected him to the harsh truths of everyday life for the people of South Sudan who lack access to safe, clean water. Grateful to the American people who helped him change his life, he returned to the U.S. determined to make a difference for the people of his birthplace. He and a small group of friends founded Water for South Sudan in 2003 to raise funds and drill water wells. It has become Salva's life mission. The first well was drilled in 2005 in Salva's father's village. The over 280 wells produce clean water for over 250,000 people every day. When asked what difficulties he and his team have been confronted with, Salva says, "Drilling water in South Sudan is extremely difficult because the country has nothing. We could only conduct the work in the limited 6 months in the dry season. Facing extreme heat up to 120 degrees, my team, including me, constantly got sick. But we keep walking because we knew what we do is changing lives to the better." When mentioning about the changes he had seen with the newly drilled wells and clean water, he says, "When I drilled the first well in my dad's village, I could see immediately the power of the water. In South Sudan, many girls have to walk miles and miles in extreme heat all the time each day just to collect water to survive. With the clean water nearby available, you will see the young girls who used to collect water all day go to school with the boys together. Women who need to collect water all day could have extra time to cook a healthy meal or do another business to run to earn more money for her family. Getting around the well, clinics is coming in, market is coming in, and the entire community is thriving because of the little seed that we put down there. Seed of drinking water well triggers so many things in the entire country. You could tell the water is the foundation toward a human development."
Everywhere we have the well, make sure the community contribute to build a school in there.
My name is John. I'm one of the teachers. And our school now is started. As you see, without borehole, the school will not be here. But with borehole, the school will be established.
Maybe one of these child would be going to this school, might change the world someday.
But she said would like to be a doctor.
The Sudanese civil war finally ended in 2005 with the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. In 2001, the Southern Sudanese people voted to secede from the Republic of Sudan. Later that year, the new Republic of South Sudan was born. Salva moved back to South Sudan following his nation's independence and now oversees Water for South Sudan operations in Africa. Talking about his opinion about the war and his vision about the future of his newly independent native country, he emphasizes, the reason why power struggle and tribal issues happen is that these people are not educated. They do not know fighting will never get to anywhere, but working together will take us way further. We need to look at each other as one people. Working together, that's what we need. Salva has earned numerous awards, including Rotary International's highest award, Service Above Self. In 2010, award-winning author Linda Sue Park published The Long Walk to Water, which tells Salva's story. It has inspired more than $1 million in donations to Water for South Sudan from supporters around the world. Salva Dude, the returned lost boy, who came from nothing, not stopped by having nothing, strives for good and saves his people from the ground up, is a genuine example of cosmopolitanism. Salva is lucky. He could have the opportunity to step out of his poverty and war-stricken home country, receive education, and empower himself with knowledge of the outside world. On the other hand, he is extremely intelligent that he has tried every effort to help his people to start from what we call it, the foundation of everything, water. As Appiah emphasizes in the last chapter of his book, Cosmopolitanism, Ethics in the World of Strangers, if you save children by creating opportunities for their parents and so raising overall affluence, then history affirms fertility rates ultimately decline. On the other hand, if you save the children by dumping free grain into the local economy and putting the local farmers out of business, who can compete with free? You may say indeed, by doing more harm than good. Salva Dude's true story inspires us to have hope, faith, and perseverance to face challenges in life. Meantime, we could learn from him about how to better communicate with and contribute to the world as an individual and a member of the world citizens.